Hello friends, welcome back to ReddX Trace Amounts of Science. Today we're getting back into r/NiceGuys. There's some new posts to feast upon. You probably know what NiceGuys are, but if you don't, I'm gonna go ahead and have the gubbinses tell ya.
Nice guys are failed creeps who think basic decency is some sort of irresistible mating call. Gubbins.
They're predators too lazy for the hunt, so they weaponize pity instead. Duh. Gubbins.
Hell yeah, you know what I'm talking about, boys. So let's go ahead and get into this thing. I'm excited. I hope your teeth are sharpened. Hope you're ready. Thanks so much for being here. Our first post. Fuck that! I was very patient and was willing to be at whatever pace you needed to be at. I made sure I wasn't one of those guys just to get in your pants, cause I saw you as more than that. Yet you ghost me as if it was like that, even when you told me you'd be real with me if you weren't interested in me anymore. I mean, how can she be much realer than ghosting you outright? You know, like, the message is made pretty clear. Sorry you weren't ready to actually accept it, despite the agreement that we made. I guarantee that we go out again, then disappeared on me like I did something wrong to you, when you know damn well I was very respectful in this. The least you couldn't done was not make me wait this long to tell me. Might as well should have fucked me at the Cal train station so you had an actual reason to push me away. Screw being a good guy nowadays. OMFG. Yes, I showed you the basic bare minimum of decency. It's not gonna suck itself. Like, great. I'm glad you didn't clobber her like some sort of monster. Congratulations. Here's your reward. Did you ever consider that just for a minute, nice might be the entire problem? Maybe you're just a little bland and boring and transparent, and like everybody could see you for what you are. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, whatever. Work on it if you want to. Or you could just go through life like, I don't know, just being sports ball man. The sports ball guys do seem pretty happy. Makes me kind of happy too. How them Chargers doing? Not good. Since the 70s, not good. 50 years of failure, Chargers. Anyway, we'll get to the next post. Who cares? He got ghosted. He's sad about it. The end. Next nice guy says, humble yourself and ask me to help you. These are texts sent to my 55-year-old mother after less than 24 hours of talking to this guy. Boy, that's a good start. Humble yourself to me and ask me to help you. Yes, kiss my ring. She says, the other stuff in a good relationship is more valuable than money. That just adds to the good. Yeah, money helps a lot, man. Can't live on love. He says, I want to be daddy to you. Oh, already. The skin's crawling. Like, at least she's 55. We know it's just a playful thing, but there's just a subtext that I don't like to it. You haven't been groomed to submit to a man. Why groomed is the verb? What? Oh, no. Offense is always a good thing. It's like just completely disjointed thoughts. I don't know what's going on here. OP says, no, I haven't. And if that's a problem, then I don't know what to say. Yeah, I'm 55. Can't groom me now. Old dog can't learn new tricks, you know? She can. She'd do awesome. But like, if you're gonna be in a BDSM relationship with some subtext like that, you probably want somebody in charge who has some better emotional regulation than whatever this guy's displaying. Like, he's not enjoying the game or the chase at all. He's just like, tell me the things I want to hear. It's fucking boring. Anyway, he says, humble yourself and ask me. Accept being groomed to submit to me. Fuck. I hate this. Enjoy your day, smiley emoji. Yeah, she GTFO'd, and who could blame her for that? This is terrifying. Why are you making these choices? The verbiage that you use is probably the most egregious part of all this. I'm not gonna say that we should put the boots to him just because of the words he's chosen to use, but God, if I could look inside your mind, I know exactly what I'd find. It's horrible in there, isn't it? You tell me how horrible it is! I'm not gonna expose my young gubbinses to this one. We'll just keep it pushing. Holy wall of text back, man. Okay, buckle in for this one. Nice Guy says at some point, then ask me for help. I've been constantly telling you this. It's got kind of the same vibes as the last post, doesn't it? Anyway, here's some backstory. Keep in mind, literally everything here was done over text, unless explicitly stated it was done in person, because this guy was an absolute wuss. When I was just trying to get my car in the pickup loop, still in school, this random kid just walked up to me after we talked for not even 5 minutes total, and he's like, I like you. All the other girls are the same. Lots of relationships start with a simple hello. And I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, dude, just let me get to my fucking car. I don't need this right now. So I say, yeah, I think we're just friends right now. Not even that. That's like opening the door for him just enough. The next day, he's persistent, so I give him my number with a, okay, sure, we can make this work. Yeah, you're getting badgered into a relationship. I don't understand it. Take control of your own life. Although maybe it's harder when you're young. Anyway, OP says, honestly, if you've been on this subreddit enough, you'd know that I never see the end of him if I hadn't said yes. But then he sends, and no, I don't have screenshots since I don't care about this guy and blindly got rid of his number, now knowing it's going to make me look bad since I don't have proof right now of what he said then. Holy shit, that's a sentence, isn't it? I mean, kind of. But the dude said, TBH, I stopped liking you after you said we were just friends. I lost interest. And I say, oh, okay, lol. No need to rub it in. Just friends, though. And he says, yeah. Done. Complete. Friendship made. Awkward origins, sure, but friendship nonetheless. Or so I cried and I prayed and I begged. I'm gonna be real honest, you do seem like the type of chick to listen to the Cardigans. Not like in an offensive way. I just want you to know that. It's not gonna turn into a friendship thing. It's gonna get really weird. This whole thing isn't OP's backstory. But yeah, she did write a wall of text. So just hang in, please and thank you. He sends me a message. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean any of that. I just need you to tell me that you love me. I just need you to show me that affection. And I send, so that thing was just a move? Because, and you need cultural context, okay? Where I'm at, it's common for someone to pretend to lose interest before they get clowned for asking someone out. You can't fire me, I quit. Which, yeah, is the excuse I give him for being a fake out a-hole. But anyway, is that cultural context? What culture is that? We could be more specific now. Just nice guy culture, I guess. Later, he sends me, I actually don't need someone, which was screenshotted and attached. Then after that, I'm sorry, I was wrong. I considered you worthy. And then I said, yeah, it doesn't really work like that. You can't say I lost interest and I don't need you with screenshots. And he says, yeah, you're right. I should probably stop trying to get with you. Thank God. Best thing I read all day. Dude, are you just narrating all the things that happened in the screenshots that you're about to show us? I guess it's good. I guess I just have to stop ADHDing and be like, okay, that's fine. Thank you for the context. I understand it better now. Probably I will. Now, this is where I must have gotten amnesia or some shit, because when I go back to school, this bitch is acting like we're still a couple. I know better than to give him another chance. He says, are you okay? Because the screenshots you sent me make you look bad? Yeah. Well, like, no fucking shit. That's the point, stupid. His excuse for the I don't need you texts was that he was moving to Nevada. Or so he says. The day after I sent the breakup text, although we were never exactly officially together, let's be honest, this creepy dude is waiting right in front of the gate, looking like that one guy from Death Note, sitting all evil and thug-like as if he's about to hit a girl. Yeah, that's definitely a reference. He walks up to me and I'm as scared as a gay man in Republican Texas. And I say, what's up? And he's like, what do you mean what? Are we just gonna act like that didn't happen? And I say, no, it did happen. I broke up with you. And we both say the exact same shit we said over text, therefore it wouldn't have made a difference anyway, and I told him that. But then something seemed to have changed in him. Something unconventional for nice guys. I looked up at him because I was literally about to have a heart attack if I looked at this boy's hate-filled eyes, and he's fucking crying. But I still haven't talked to him again, though. Tongue sticking out emoji. Yes, a high school girl post if I ever read one, but I'm sure the text message exchange between two high school age students will be even better. Even better. Full of cringe and awkwardness. They just don't know what's going on. I had this happen a time or two. Anyway, OP, in the middle of a conversation at some point says, why'd you ask me out? And he said, because I thought I needed someone, but it turns out I actually don't. Yeah, dude, he's an alpha lone wolf. Don't forget it. That's why I said you deserve better. And then OP sends a heartburn emoji gif thing. OP says, I just kind of had to make a decision here, and I just need an opinion. Are you okay with just being friends? I thought about it, and I think we're better friends than anything. This isn't any hard feelings or whatever. I just mean that we should take it down a notch. Is there more context to all this that you aren't telling us, OP? What is down a notch from the not relationship that we're in to just being semi-friends? I'm not sure how that dial works. He says, wait, what? Weren't you the one who said we should be together and now you're canceling on me? She says, canceling? You asked me out. And all I mean is I don't think either of us are really ready. It just doesn't look good if you say, I actually lost interest after we said we were just friends, and I thought I needed someone, turns out I don't, and I consider you worthy, and us to still be a couple. And I thought I had said that. Yeah, there's definitely some mixed messaging in there. You're totally worthy, but I don't need you. So you're calling me out? And she says, I don't want you to take this the wrong way. I don't want a rivalry. I just think I'm not really ready for this kind of thing. And he said, that's why I didn't rush you into anything. Yeah, okay, but really, you were pushing on day one. As soon as y'all met, you were pushing, testing the boundaries. You rushed her. He says, I always made sure you were comfortable with something before I did it. What else did you want me to do? LP says, I noticed that's what you did, and there's nothing more that you could have done. It's an issue for me, but I think it's the best way to put it. It's that I don't even know what I need. I didn't need to do anything, and we could just be friends. We don't even have to be friends if that's what you want. I think that's what you want, OP, but you're not willing to come out and say it. Like, this entire situation, far more sus than OP is letting on. There was something going on here, and you can sort of sniff between the lines, you know what I mean? OP, by her own admission, doesn't even know what she wants. So, why am I even going to waste my time? You're trying to not only leave this dude out in the cold, but you also want to gaslight everybody on Reddit, probably his friend group. Like, it's evil actions. You've taken it so much further than it needed to go already. And I'm thinking that it might be good to turn the spotlight on the post creator. I had to read your fucking wall of text, and now here's my 2 cents. You're a mean girl. He says, so what did I do wrong? And she says, you didn't do anything wrong. And he says, then what's this about? You lost interest? And she said, no, it's not. And he says, well, what the fuck is it? I feel that a lot. Like, initially I did feel bad for her, you know? But that was her painting it in her own words. When you see the exchange itself, well, no shit, it makes you look bad. No shit, a lot of the messages went missing, because those are the pieces of the puzzle that would be needed to put the whole thing together. But I see through dimensions, and I know what you're doing here, and it's wrong! It's wrong! She says, look, it's nothing you did. It's that I didn't know what to do. Just say no. No, I wouldn't like to date you. Or have your number. It happened a time or two in high school. I guess that's true. You date for like a day, a week, and then you're just like, whatever. Actually, I wasn't that interested. I just wanted to see. This dude's really not willing to let it go. He says, just ask me for help or anything. I've been constantly telling you this. See, this is in like a completely different context than the humble yourself and ask me for help thing that we saw before. That is the line that OP used as the post title, just to remind you. And yeah, it doesn't feel nefarious when spoken in this context. He's frustrated. Although even as early as 9th grade, I probably handled this with a lot more grace, you know. There was a girl named Bailey that, like, we dated for a week and I asked her out, and then after a week, she's like, meh, I don't really like you. I'm like, okay. There was Katie who asked me out, and I think we dated for a day. I was just like, yeah, I don't actually want to. So part of me understands where OP is coming from, but another part of me understands where NiceGuy's coming from. I sense his frustration, but as long as it doesn't turn into actual nice guy behavior, which I suspect that it won't, OP, I feel like, is reaching really hard on this one. Unless it reaches that point, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, honestly. Fucking dudes need a bit more of that these days. Anyway, finally OP gets to the crux of the matter and says, I don't know how to say no to someone as kind as you, man. Maybe she thought NiceGuys was like for actual decent people. I don't know if you're confused. Like, yeah, he's been pretty okay, you know, aside from approaching you one day and you said, yeah, we're friends. And he's like, let me get your number the next day. And then you changed your mind. And yeah, that is a shitty thing to do. I remember Katie getting very mad at me. What do you mean? What do you mean you want to break up? It's just like, yeah, I thought I did, but I didn't. Sorry. Take it on the chin, move on with your life. This guy's not quite ready for that yet, but I don't know what you expected. You thought this was going to be a clean break? Like you can just decide that without repercussions? Yeah, well, sometimes it go a little bit different than you think, I guess. Anyway, she says that's what all this was. Yeah, just she couldn't say no. She doesn't know how to say no. Oh my god, he twisted my arm to stay up until 4 a.m. on a Discord call and play Minecraft with him. It sort of harkens back to the Has-Been Beard saga. He asks, so you never liked me? And she says, no, I did to some degree. I thought that a relationship was what you wanted. And he said, no, I just wanted to be with you. Like I said, you were interesting to me. That's why I asked you out in the first place. I wanted to get to know you better. And when you said yes, I thought you actually meant it. But now you're throwing me a curveball. Yeah, life is going to do that a lot, son. It's going to be okay. Is the situation a bit shitty? Sure. Did she go and post you on r/NiceGuys despite you not deserving it? At least not to this point. Yeah, she did. But even that is outside of your control. You just go, okay, well, I'm gonna move on with my day. I'll use this energy externally to build instead of internally to suffer, which seems like a really easy choice, but people don't choose it often. Anyway, she says, you could have always gotten to know me better. Oh yeah. OP is the defensive one here. You shouldn't have asked me out so quick is the thing. And I guess there is some legitimacy to that. But yeah, if you just said that when he asked, then we could have circumvented this whole thing. Anyway, he says, not like that. I mean, I meant like share secrets and stuff. Yeah, giggle together under the blankets and whatnot. You know, something couples do. Yeah, the under the blankets thing they do. Plus, you were the one who wanted to do that stuff in the first place. OP says, I wanted to see what kind of relationship you wanted, what you wanted to do, because I was okay with anything. And he says, same here, but I let you do it because you said that you were the one who wanted to try doing couple things. What is it? Can we clarify that real quick? Yeah, the OP, this was definitely not just a on again, off again type of thing, huh? It's very interesting how quickly things unravel if you just drag it out into the light. He's like, everybody come around and have a look, okay? We all see through the bullshit, right? Now let's move on. OP says, you were the one who asked me out. And he says, yeah, but you like me too. I wasn't gonna do everything that I wanted to do. I wanted you to do whatever you wanted first. Oh, the typos are coming in. The blood pressures are raising. Goodness gracious. I hope we can all come to accept the fact that I didn't want to do anything. Never did, never will. Now let's move past it. See, you just can't move past it. That's the whole thing. I don't know why you're holding on to this so hard. She says, look, we don't need to make this a whole thing. Yeah. See, now I'm kind of leaning that way. Just let it go, man. You're hurt, you're offended. Okay, sorry. That's about what I could do for you. Anyway, OP says, I just know that I'm not ready. And he said, oh, we didn't now? That's why we took it slow. Not ready for the relationship, I presume is what's going on. Maybe it is just the relationship. Maybe it really was just like a one-day little thing. But yeah, it does seem to me like you're taking it a little hard there, buddy. So OP says, yeah, I've made up my mind. I needed to know what I needed, and I found out. Yes, I used you for my own purposes. Now, goodbye. Oh, shit. Well, I guess that's a way to go. OP says, it's not just me then. Apparently I did something wrong. And she says, it's not specifically you. God, you're just out here doing everything you can to dodge any sort of accountability. Reddit, tell me that I'm right. This guy was wrong for trying to fucking maintain a relationship that I agreed to. Like, I don't understand. It's a shitty thing you did. The same way Katie was mad at me back in the day, basically never talked to me again, that's the same way this guy's mad at you. And you know what I did? I didn't try to convince her, come back, we could be friends again. I just said, you know what? It is what it is. I can't control what you choose. It's only me piloting this meat mech. Anyway, OP says, yes, it is specifically me. You don't like me. Oh, it's a little pity party-ish. Look, you actually are, and it's just you're afraid of commitment. OP says, no. He says, yes, you are. She says, nuh-uh. He says, that's why you're so indecisive. She says, me? Indecisive? He says, you don't know what you want because you're afraid of commitment. Yeah, you said that already. She says, dude, you're the one who can't just say, I'm moving to Nevada, which I guess we did need context for because that feels like it comes out of fucking left field. I think he's moving to Nevada out of embarrassment, and probably also because it's a one-party consent wiretapping state, so like I can record your phone calls if you call me in Nevada. I think you have to also be in Nevada. Whatever, it's fine. He says, you know what? And she says, what? And he says, that's a good thing. And she says, cool. And he says, now that I know you actually hated me this whole time. I was about to congratulate him on his, like, acceptance and moving past it. But yes, I'm glad I held my tongue. She says, I never said that I hated you. I never did. Quit playing puppy on the side of the road with a broken leg, dude. That's the longest way to fucking... sympathy bait. Can you call it that? He says, I'm not! And she says, this is some nice guy shit. Yeah, we are definitely veering into nice guy territory now. I don't take back everything I said about OP, but yeah, maybe I read this guy wrong. Then again, he's young, you know? He'll get it figured out. He's not doomed for failure. I see the light inside of him. He says, I'm being honest. You're just scared of committing yourself to me. Committing yourself to me also is kind of a weird way to phrase it. OP says, scared? He says, that's what's hard with getting in love with someone nowadays. Yeah, I got in love with you after 2 days. Oh, God. It's all making sense now. They crumble before anything can form. I mean, that's true. Like, a lot of marriages dissolve just because people don't know how to fucking deal with hard times. This relationship is inconvenient to me now. Okay, well, get out of here then, bitch. I guess you want to ride or die. Anywho, he says, that's what you're doing right now. Yeah, pushing you away because I'm so scared. OP says, are we deadass playing this game right now? Lamau, this is pathetic. Honestly, pathetic. Oh yeah, the texts are coming faster and faster. I'm gonna send you sentence fragments. He says, I was actually considering staying here with you, but turns out I would have wasted my time. You're letting the whims of a woman decide the course of your entire life? I just want you to acknowledge that that's what you're deciding to do right now. Simp behavior, if I could call it that. Where's your fucking conviction there, boy? She says, I should have known what kind of guy you were. Should have known better, but for some reason, I thought you were real. See, she was in. She is not as disinterested as she has sold it to everybody. And that's why it makes me really, really upset. Why you post this fucking dude on r/NiceGuys? There's a lot of people out there that might believe the hype, but I ain't one of them. He still is kind of a nice guy, though. Nice guy says, I should have known why people left you alone for a reason. Damn. Cutting deep. Now we're getting real good. Turns out you pushed people away before they could get too close. And she sends a heartburn thing again and says, LMFAO. And he says, you don't think that's how I feel? My arm is sore. My heart is literally hurting, but I don't give a shit anymore. Just break up with me already. Say it. And she says, motherfucker, I did, Lamau. Savage, but also needed at this point. If you're ever gonna get over this breakup, I have to be the bad guy you imagine me to be. Or bad girl you imagine me to be, although that has a different connotation. Whatever. She says, Jesus, so much for just friends, huh? Fuck, dude. And he says, no! And she says, pathetic. Really pathetic. He says, me? You sent me this out of the blue and you're doing it over text, so who's the pathetic one? Goodness God, what the fuck? Yeah, that was a whole lot of something. I'm not sure how to feel about it, truly. I'm sure I was expository enough about how I feel as I tried to piece it together. So let's just toss it over to the gubbins and see how they feel. Maybe they can break this this tie between nice guy and nice girl.
Oh, she definitely liked the attention. The problem is she wanted the drama more. You can't write 3 paragraphs of backstory and then pretend you didn't care, Miss Ma'am. That's not emotional maturity, that's just plot exposition. I hope you can evolve past your bitch phase. And do it soon, gubbins.
There's no need for that. Well, why don't we cool it out a little bit? But yeah, the giant block of text she wrote before even sending all this is enough to prick my ears up. How did you feel about it, Dark One?
I'll be honest, he's just as bad. Bro had one mildly embarrassing rejection and immediately entered his Joker arc. You don't need a therapist. You need a hobby that doesn't involve DMing people entire novels about how unfair life is. Make it work or lay down in a hole. Dark Gubbins.
I want to lay down in a hole. Can we do that right now? I appreciate you guys watching the video. Sign up on Patreon or YouTube memberships. Check us out on Spotify, iTunes, all the podcast services. Fourth wall for the merch if you'd like. I would like to remind you, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy. You definitely deserve it. And I will see you in the next one. So until then, bye-bye.